Have you ever heard an object make a sound it shouldn't? It's not just a creak in the night, but a sound with a purpose, a message from the past. This is the story of an old sapper's helmet, a relic from a forgotten war that did just that. It sat on a shelf in a small private museum, a simple iron pot meant for protection. But every night, without fail, as silence fell over the house, a faint noise would begin. Clink, clink, clink. A rhythmic tapping, as if a small pebble were striking the metal. The museum's curator, an old veteran himself, was puzzled. He checked for drafts, for loose parts, for anything that could explain the sound. He found nothing. The noise was maddeningly consistent, a soft but persistent tapping that echoed through the quiet halls. For weeks he tried to ignore it, chalking it up to the old building settling. But one night, as he sat in his office listening, a memory long buried began to surface. Strained his ears, focusing on the pattern. Clink, clink, clink. A pause. Clink, clink, clink. His blood ran cold. It wasn't a random noise. It was a signal. He'd heard it a lifetime ago, in the mud and chaos of the battlefield. It was the signal used by sapper teams, the bomb disposal experts. All clear, advance. 3 taps, a pause, 3 more. This was the code they used to communicate silently when clearing minefields, tapping on their helmets to let the soldier behind them know it was safe to move forward. The sound was identical. Suddenly, the helmet on the shelf was no longer just an object. It had a story, and the curator needed to know what it was. Spent the next day combing through old military records, searching for the helmet's serial number. The search led him to a dusty file containing the service record of a young sapper, a man who had been part of a forward demining unit. The last entry in his file was chillingly brief, lost in action during a mine-clearing operation. The date matched the final major offensive of the war. The report detailed how the young soldier and his team were clearing a path through a dense minefield. Under the cover of darkness, he was the point man, the one who went first, tapping out the all-clear signal on his helmet for the man behind him. But during the operation, communication suddenly stopped. The men behind him waited, listening for the familiar clink, 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 but it never came. He had vanished into the night, and his body was never recovered. All that was found, months later, half buried in the mud, was his helmet. Decades later, the helmet was tapping out its final message. Clink, clink, clink. Was it a spectral echo, a residual energy from a moment of intense focus and bravery? Or was it the spirit of the lost soldier, still trying to complete his mission, still signaling to his comrades that it was safe to come home? The curator never found a scientific answer, but he no longer heard the sound as a nuisance. He heard it as a tribute, a nightly reminder of a soldier's ultimate sacrifice. The helmet that rang like metal being tapped was simply a young man, forever on duty, signaling all clear from the other side. Thank you for watching. If you found this story moving, please like and subscribe for more tales from history's hidden corners.